Yay! It's a pleasure to meet you guys from 2019. My name is Thais. I'm from the previous class. Thank you again for the opportunity to present this topic. So I'm going to talk about the concept of intelligence and how this may affect us. First of all, I'm not an expert, just to say that. This is just a Google research I did to give us some background. So I'm going to talk about what is intelligence, some theories of intelligence, and how it may affect us. So Liz, what do you think is intelligence? Everything you know and you can share. Okay, that's nice. No, but it makes sense. This happened also in the other presentation. So there are some other definitions. So intelligence, I like this one, what you do when you don't know what to do. It's your skills and achievements, it's abstract thinking, it's adaptation, it's the ability to learn, some definitions. Now I'm going to present you some theories of intelligence that I researched online myself, so just a brief idea. So the psychometric theories, this guy starting in understanding intelligence, they wanted to characterize intelligence. What are the areas and fields that would have? So they measure the abilities by mental tests. And then these other guys came from the cognitive theories. They thought that, okay, you understood, you measure people by intelligence, but intelligence is not only about that, it's also about a process that you take to develop and answer these questions and to think and analyze, the world, the things that you are analyzing. Then it came the cognitive contextual theories. I'm going to talk about two of them, previous after this slide. And these guys consider also the context. So it's not only about the test, you're a test in the world, and you are from different backgrounds. You're from India, you're from China, you're from Brazil. So it's totally different the way you perceive things and what is a good and right answer. And so the difference of intelligence may differ from one culture to another. And also that real life and academic performance is not considering the previous theories. So they don't consider practical things. They just consider theory. And then emotional intelligence, we all know a bit about that. And the biological theories that would try to understand exactly what intelligence is regarding the brain. So the definition is, there is no final definition on what is intelligence. Now, we don't have it. So just to reinforce that. So Gardner was the first one to give this broader perspective of intelligence. So different from what you guys might think, oh, intelligence is to be, to speak well. Intelligence to have logical, mathematical aspects. And he also considered that. But other stuff like body kinetically, for good soccer player, you have a high body kinetic type of intelligence. Also the existential one. So how do you handle your life? How do you answer existential questions? Interpersonal. So how do you deal with other people's feelings and motivations? Another one would be the theory of human intelligence. So this guy Sternberg considered three pillars. One was internal. So it's all about your cognitive process that we're talking about, and the representation internal, how you deal and how do you do that. And the other one would be externally. So how do you apply this process in the world? And finally, what would integrate both would be the integration of internal and external roads to experience. So how do you use your experience to deal with problems in your life? So why does it relate to creativity? Because sometimes you can find an answer for a problem using another experience that has nothing to do with that field, applying a totally different field. And this is how, and so he said, intelligence is not being fast or doing well in this test. For him, intelligence is how you use your strengths and your weakness to find this niche where you can operate well, what the things you do good, in knowing, being aware of the things you don't do good at. So recently, intelligence concept is moving to another, this very important word that they call adaptation. This is the key to understand how the scientists are considering intelligence definition right now. And these other words like perception, learning, memory, reasoning, problem solving, all of these is consistent to what it would represent intelligence. So a doctor, how do he perceive through the books we read, and what he learned, and what he memorized when he is with you in his room, trying to do your diagnosis, and things like that, and how he finally problem solved. But so if it's so narrow, so if it's so broad, why do we still consider this narrow view on intelligence about mathematical and like if you speak well and if you have a great vocabulary? Why do we still consider intelligence and smart people from this perspective? The reason, I think, is because we live our whole life with SRT, GRE, we're doing GMAT to be accepted here, like we're all being measured to the old versions of what intelligence might have. And for you guys to know, in 2012, Forbes did a survey, and doing good in GMAT, unfortunately or fortunately, doesn't mean that you're going to do well in your life, that you're going to receive a great salary. It doesn't mean like that. So in general, we want to be perceived. We all worry about our personal brand here, right? And we all want to be perceived as intelligent, smart people. So if you fit in this box and you had the right opportunities for sure, you think you are, you want to continue being in contact with other people that you consider smart. But if you don't fit in the box, and that's a problem, maybe you don't believe in yourself, and we know that sometimes people don't do well in tests because of self-esteem, because they don't believe in themselves, because they get nervous and stuff like that. And you tend to think that other people that fit in the box are smart. So we would try to work with this kind of people to be near them. So this is like a personal view on that, and this is my path to a broader view of intelligence. So these are my parents. We are engineers. In this visit, we're going to see using a hydroelectric using. So we are doing a visit, family visit together. So we are all engineers. So just to show that I started with a very narrow view of what intelligence is, looking through an engineer perspective, let's say. Then I went to a school. This was quite well because I went to an experimental school. So they give me different views, and this was nice because I fit very well into that. And I can give an example of an exam I had to do. And my professor said, one of the questions was, what is a plasmatic membrane? So he would, instead of asking that, he just showed the structure. So look, this is the answer. This is how a plasmatic membrane is. But what if it was like this? And then he changed all the structure. And he said, the question was, how do you conduct an experiment? What you should consider in an experiment to come to this and not to the right one? So that was the question. And I had several of these things in our university and in our school. It was really, really nice. After that, I went to university. I still had a rational mindset, but I never felt that I fit in the box. I always had the impression that I was not as fast as I should be, not as structured as I should be, not as serious as I should be. And it was nice because I started doing therapy, and I still had this structured thing in my mind. So my therapy wasn't often to ask me, do you want me to draw a formula in the board for you so I can explain what I'm talking about your feelings? And that was very hard for me to understand. There's no answer key for life, because you always think there's only one answer, right? So what should I do now? So you go to the answer book of life and you see it. There's nothing like that. But we are created and educated to believe in that. And I met several different people in my career with different types of intelligence. And what was really nice for me was when I started attending short stories and photography class, and it was the opposite. They would say to me, less structure, you have a lot of structure, don't do that. Why do you need structure? You need creativity, you need to set your mind free, you know, and give image. That's what they want from me. So it's totally different, and it was very nice. So final slide is like, I think the truth about intelligence and the definition that I really, really like about it, it's like, intelligence might be measured by placing people in an unfamiliar culture, okay, and assessing their ability to cope with the new situation. This is exactly what we're doing now, right? And even people that are already being from Manchester here, they're also doing that, meeting other people and work together. So if I can give you, like, for the 2019 class, a tip, I would say, stop thinking about having a good grade in the report. You should think of that too. But this is not the most important thing. Don't kill me, Fran. This is not the most important thing. Oh my God, this is my finish. Fran's looking at me, I can see that. No, I'm just saying, the most important thing is how you interact with different nationalities and making everybody feel comfortable, everybody talk, and understand that people have different needs, different perspectives, and different ways of speaking about themselves, and you have to give room for these people, and you have to listen to them. Just final example is to say that when I went to the China tour, I understood how our Chinese colleagues, it was very hard to them to speak English because it's a very different language. Even the way we structure the sentence is crazy. It's really, really hard, really, really different. And we have to understand that. Even for our Brazilians, it's easier, but for Chinese and other nationalities, I believe, it's very hard. So we have to embrace people and all these possibilities of intelligence, try ourselves to look for others, and like open our minds. That's it.